Welcome back to ESA Winter 21. We are raising money for Alzheimer Links to donate can be found below the stream, or you can ! Donate in the chat. We would love to thank Koei Tecmo Europe Neo 2 the Complete Edition, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. And now it's time for a carry on playing Fallout New Vegas Any Percent Glitchless. Take it away.
Thank you very much. So, hello, I'm Macarion. We're going to be doing New Vegas Glitchless. Couple of things that, you know, it's going to be mostly glitchless. This is a Bethesda game after all, but I do believe that the incentive for the Blindfolded intro was met, so I do have my Blindfolded right here. I also noticed that a lot of the runners had some cosplay, so I made some of my own for the Blindfold, actually, of one of the characters from New Vegas, Yes Man. So let me put it on here. Hopefully that's... It's a bit of a big blindfold, I know. But I think we're ready to go. So I'm just going to slip this over my eyes once we start. So yeah, hope you enjoy. So I'll count down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go. So the intro, blindfold, is what we consider Doc Mitchell's house, basically. The first room with our wonderful friend Doc Mitchell. You might notice is actually in Italian, because it's about 35 seconds faster in Glitchless to have Italian. In any percent, normally it's only 5 seconds because we skip the other 30 seconds, but here it's much more of a bigger difference. So Doc's just gonna, you know, give us the rundown, you know, what's our name, what do we look like. A lot of it is menuing, so it is quite, it's not that difficult in Blindfolded. The hard parts come in navigating the 3D space, actually, which is why I'm using a controller. Hopefully you can see that. Because it's much easier to know exactly where you're looking when you flick the controller sticks to look somewhere. So we use that instead of the mouse. So here we're just making our character. Nothing too fancy. So yeah, we're about to be stood up by Doc, so to say. There's usually a lot more stuff that we do in non-blindfolded, of course. I hope that makes sense, but basically, we're just gonna choose our stats. We actually, because I'm playing blindfolded, I won't be choosing one stat I normally would be, which will make one thing a little bit harder later, but it's fine. So the first movement here is actually really easy, because the devs put objects perfectly to block your path if you just hold right and then forward. I don't... Okay, I'm in front of the vigor tester. I think I went a little too far there. 2 seconds. I think I appear to be a little lost in the vigor tester, which I don't think has happened before. So I want 2 in that. Or, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which would put me at 8. Then this remains unchanged. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now...
Fa piacere vedere che I proiettili non ti hanno fatto perdere fascino.
And I should have just sat down in the sofa. That's probably the hardest part of Blindfolded. Right there, sitting in that sofa. Navigating the 3D space around that area can be very tricky. I've timed it down to about 3 footsteps that your character takes to the right, and then you just look around and then you hit it every time. At least most times. Now we just have to wait for Doc. And a little bit of flexing there by drinking while blindfolded. Double the challenge, you know? But, so here we have to choose very specific options. I know. It's, I don't even know how I'm doing this fast blindfolded, but basically we just want to... This will give us a skill set that, benefits us quite a bit. Which, the main points are survival and speech. Usually I'd go for explosives, but because we're blindfolded, I'm not gonna menu that. That's a little much. But we need speech to, you know, talk everyone down, because words are mightier than explosives. Most of the time. Not always. And now for our trait, we want to choose good-natured. Oh, let me just make sure. Yeah, it's good-natured.
Va bene, così dovrebbe bastare. Vieni con me, ti accompagno.
Now we want to
fuori.
talk to Doc,
Ecco,
because we
questa
can't
è
leave this house without talking to him. The fastest way to do that is to right after we stand up, because he's right there. Now we flick a little to the right. We jump over the sofa behind us. Just for safety, hold it an extra bit down. Then we start going to the right. Now, hopefully I'm right beside the door. I am. Cool. So that's the blindfolded section. Gonna unplug my controller. So that's cool. And here we go. The New Vegas speedrun can begin. So we bind medicine real quick, because we get shot at a lot. And now we're gonna get into the first piece of movement tech, which is stop hopping. It involves, basically, you want to jump, stop, flick your mouse, and then jump again, which makes you jump at quite a considerably faster pace. Something like 160% of normal movement speed, I think. Rough estimate. And this is like the main movement tech throughout the whole run. We use it, you know, everywhere. We even use it to do some tricks that would otherwise be impossible. Now, this stop hopping movement tech is actually quite new, because until like June of 2020, it was considered a glitch, but was decided that it wasn't anymore, because the community likes fun speedruns, or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so now we're basically stop hopping to New Vegas, the namesake of the game. Now, along the way, we have to pick up multiple sort of fast travel locations that we're going to come back to later. The first one being Hidden Valley. Well, technically the first one is Good Springs, but that one is unavoidable. We will be back to Good Springs, just like probably halfway into the run. But yeah, at the moment we have to go to Hidden Valley. So a lot of the routing consists of knowing where to go when. Well, like most speedruns, I'd say. But yeah, so fast traveling is used a lot as well, to just skip over places, even if you just discover the location and you fast travel to it, like in that case. We just fast travel to Hidden Valley once we discovered it, which skips a good chunk of walking. We'll do it right up here as well with another location called Black Mountain, which is coincidentally just a good place to go, but also is a place we need to fast travel later. So it's very nice how the devs just made the route perfect for us. Now we have these centaurs here. We kind of just stop hop past them. A lot of stuff in the run can't really touch us. Stuff that you might consider scary in the base game, like cazadors, or even centaurs. Now, behind us right now, there's a super mutant called Neil, but because I'm stop hopping, he's too slow to catch me. So we just kind of ignore him. If you're too slow, he will talk to you, though, which is a bit of a time waster sometimes. So, you're probably wondering how we're going to get into New Vegas, because in the base game, there's multiple ways. You can go through the front door using a variety of skills or having enough money, or you can use the NCR monorail by going through Camp McCarran, and actually that's exactly what we're going to do. So, I think I'll explain that a little bit quickly, but do we have any donations, since I'm just stop hopping here?
No, what I did want to say though, and I didn't sort of highlight this before, is the reason we got a blindfolded opening is just because of you guys' very generous donations. We raised $500 towards that incentive. So yeah, thanks to everyone who contributed for that, and everyone who's contributed to the nearly $19,000 we've raised so far. You guys have been brilliant.
That's amazing. Okay, so now that I'm getting a bit closer, we're gonna get into the monorail. You might notice that I'm not going towards the McCarran gate, which, if you know the game a little bit, you might know that that's not the way to do things. But we're gonna utilize a little piece of armor, actually, to kind of climb up the side of the wall. We'll stay in bounds, of course. This is a glitchless run. We're not gonna do any glitching. Usually, in any percent, you just reload dash up there, which involves using a revolver to boost yourself at really high speeds. But here we're just gonna use some armor to get up there. It's gonna look pretty suspicious, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those things that when you see, you're like, that's a glitch, right? But not really, I swear. You know? Cross my heart, hope to die, or whatever. So we basically put our metal armor down. Unfortunately, it did fall down there. Now, we are standing on an invisible wall there, but that's the dev's fault for putting it there, so we're not really glitching, I swear. So now we kind of make our way up the side of this monorail. We jump over here onto the train, and now we're at the monorail. Or, yeah. And now we're in the strip. Very quick, I know. So in the strip, there's already going to be something here, because a lot of people want to talk to us. Like, if you remember last time, I talked about Neil. But, that guy, that NCR guy that I just punched past, if you have an animation playing, like punching, shooting, even landing has an animation, people can't talk to you. So we use that in a lot of places to just not talk to people. But in a lot of cases, we can just be faster than them. So you might have noticed that Victor talked to me just as I left the station. And he's unavoidable. He will follow you to the end of the earth. And he's faster than you, basically, so you can't avoid him. That's why we don't bother. So you might be wondering, why the heck am I going into this random casino full of people dressed in suits? That's because to finish the game, we need to meet a bunch of factions in the Mojave for this guy called Yes Man. Since this game is 4 endings, we are doing the fastest one, which is indeed Yes Man. The guy I was cosplaying as earlier while blindfolded. He's very lax about how we discover the factions. If we just talk to their leaders, he's fine with that. We can just ignore him for all he cares. He's a bit of a yes man in that regard. You know? But, now, we talk to Swank here, and we tell him that Benny, who is the guy who shot us, actually, at the start of the game. We didn't see it because I skipped the cutscene. We talk to Swank and tell him that Benny would try to kill us. So he gives us our weapons back. It's one of the main reasons we need 45 speech at the start of the game. That's what my stats gave me earlier. So Benny's dead. I know, very anticlimactic. But, basically, now we're just gonna go meet Yes Man. And, we have to actually do very specific speech options in this entire casino. Because if you don't, Yes Man won't show up outside the casino later on, but if we do the exact speech options that we do, he will show up, which is, you know, a real time saver instead of going back to this hotel room every single time. Also, that guy's still mad at us because they're Benny's friends, and we killed Benny, so they're not exactly happy about it. It's one of the main areas we need a lot of stimpaks at. Sometimes the entire casino gets mad at you, and sometimes only his goons. So you might have noticed there, I did kind of a swerve around a guy in a suit. It was a little quick, and he wasn't loaded in half the time, but that's another guy we need to avoid. But he's easily avoidable. He's a guy called Vulpes, and he's a bit of a Legion spy. And he really wants to tell us how much his leader loves us and stuff. Unfortunately, we're taken by Yes Man at this point in the game, so we don't want to hear it. Now here's Mr. House, one of the other endings you can do. Also, we got a level up here. We want to get 45 survival as well. But Mr. House, he's not really a cool guy, so we're gonna kill him. You know, typical relationship stuff. So yeah, we just kind of brute force our way through all his secret rooms and robots and stuff. Getting a bunch more level ups. So you notice I have 45 survival. That lets me take a perk that increases my movement speed by 10%. Which, as you can imagine, in a speedrun is quite useful. And now Mr. House is dead. What a shame. So that's basically us done for killing faction leaders. We don't kill a single person from now on. We've only killed, we only kill like 2 people in this run. Well, depending on if some scorpions show up later, but that doesn't matter. So there I did another sort of swerve around another NPC who wants to talk to us. I know, there's a lot. One from all the main factions, really, almost. There's Victor for Mr. House, there's Vulpes for Caesar, and then of course there's NCR Man for the NCR. But yeah, now we're going to the boomers. The people with the Monster Energy drinks and the sunglasses, of course. And explosives. Because we basically just need to meet them for Yes Man, like I've said earlier. And to meet them, we just need to talk to them. Unfortunately, they have a lot of artillery. and that artillery is gonna try and kill us. So we just kind of try and stop hop past it. I'll go into it a little bit later, once we're actually there, but at the moment, we're just kind of stop hopping all the way over there. This is probably one of the longer stop hopping sections, so if there's any donations, please go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got $5 from Eggs. It says, "Hey Akirion, me and the lads are watching from Discord and cheering you on. Also, that blindfolded section was amazing. Good luck and much love, Eggs."
Thank you very much.
Very much. And Pi has donated $5, saying, "All the boys are cheering for you, AK. Go Glitchless." Thanks very much for the donations, guys. Really appreciate it. It's going to a fantastic cause.
Eggs and pie. Real homeboys, I gotta say. But yeah, so, we're still, you know, stop hopping. This run consists of a lot of stop hopping. So, I do recommend, if you're gonna do this run, take breaks. Because this can be a little unfriendly on the old wrist with all the flicking. That's, I guess, just a rule in general for gaming. Take breaks, you know? But, so yeah. The Boomers are one of the 4 or 5 factions that we need to meet. After those guys, we have to meet the Brothers Steel all the way back at Hoover Dam. Or not Hoover Dam, Hidden Valley. Getting my places mixed up. That we discovered way earlier. One of the first locations we discovered. And then the Great Khans, who are in the Red Rock Canyon, who we will also stop hop to. But if you know the game, you might know that the path to Red Rock Canyon can be filled with Cazadors, but hopefully they don't eat us. Cazadors being one of the worst things in the game. But yeah, here we're stop hopping through the artillery. Usually, because the screen shake can actually throw off your stop hops, so you saw me miss one there. That's actually pretty good though. Usually you'd miss like 2 or 3. Of course, getting through it perfectly is also possible, but it doesn't always happen. So these are the Boomers. Like I said, we get to deeply know them by having like 2 conversations, and that's enough for Yes Man. I also forgot to mention we have a trick for getting through dialogue faster, which involves mashing Enter and left click. Also, you see those scorpions? I have to kill them, otherwise I can't fast travel. So unfortunately, I did lie earlier. I do have to kill more things. So, we have a neat little strat here coming up. I'm going to explain it after I do it, because I kind of need to concentrate on it. Oh, I didn't quite pull it off. Okay. Basically, it involves going in far enough to this door so you hit the trigger, but then going back out and then shooting your grenade. So you don't have to do what I just did, which is pickpocket a key off of them, and then go back outside. But that I know I shot a grenade at them because that's how we meet them, by damaging them. But they weren't aggroed, so we're still technically pacifists, for the most part. So now we're going to those Great Khans that I mentioned earlier, through this north sort of road here. There's like 2 sort of Cazador spawns that can get us here. Hopefully they don't, you know. It's very rare that they actually do, just because of your stop hopping advantage. And also the fact that there's a lot of slopes here. So, and jumping up and down slopes is faster. Now, stop hopping up slopes can be quite tricky because you have to flick and mash space very quickly, which is not always, you know, possible. That's part of the training, I guess, you do for stop hopping. You just gotta get to know how to do that. I'm gonna try and minimize fall damage there. There's ways to jump down that a bit smoother, but I kind of messed it up a little. So, none of the Cazadors came. That's another thing we do, actually. We turn our game settings all the way down to low for 2 reasons. So we get less FPS drops. And my game is also capped to 60 FPS, because your movement speed can increase if your FPS is above 60. So speedrunners are required to set it to a 60 cap. But we also set our settings to low, because it's not exactly confirmed, but it's believed that having your render distance for enemies low makes it so they aggro onto you less. Like I said though, that's not exactly confirmed, but sort of what a couple of runners think. And honestly, it doesn't impact the speedrun much, so I'd rather do it just to be safe. Unfortunately, It was first thought of because of the scorpion spawn earlier that would have blocked my fast travel at Hidden Valley. But unfortunately, we got scorpions right under our feet, which I don't think I've ever seen happen. So there's marathon luck for you. So, yet again, we're going to do something even different for the Great Khans to meet them. You know, we've done all that. We've talked, we've damaged people. What now? We're going to examine this pole. And now we're best friends. Honestly, that's all you need to do. Also, you see that guy there? That's Old Ben. He's another person who wants to talk to us. That's why we pull out our fists and punch every time we fast travel to the strip gate. And there's Volpes to our left. So here I want to go around a box that forces me to talk to a vendor who sells stealth weapons. But that's pretty easy.
Hey,
So here are the Emertas. They're another faction we have to meet. But that just involves talking. And then we go back to Yes Man, because Yes Man has deemed it acceptable that all that random stuff of talking to people is perfectly fine for trying to take over the entire Mojave. So we just tell him that we're best friends with everyone. And then he's going to join us at the Lucky 38, the big casino where Mr. House was. Now, he wants to show off his cool new robot stuff, because he himself is a robot. So we're going to be in a cutscene here, which there is a little bit of stuff I want to talk about there, but it's only a little bit. So, first of all, we're instantly teleported down there, where Yes Man is going to tell us about how he's going to kill himself. Also, sound warning. This part is the loudest part in the speedrun, hands down, so maybe lower your volume right now. Okay, just adjusting my chair a little. So yeah, Yes Man transfers himself into Mr. House's network and takes us to the basement. So if you have any donations, now would be a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Got 2 coming in. So Jabbo has donated $5 and says, "Let's go, Carry On 101. We love you." Imagine exactly those inflections as well. Probably. Who knows? And Bacon has donated $5, asking a question that was answered earlier on in the run, but just for those in the back who didn't get it. Right, is stop hopping a glitch okay?
Oh yes, I completely forgot. So stop hopping is not a glitch. It's, you know, it used to be considered one, but it's not anymore. Fun fact, Fallout 3 speedrun is still considered a glitch. So the 2 games with the same engine consider different things for both speedrun communities. Also, this is not out of bounds. This is not a glitch also. There's an invisible wall here, so going over there would be out of bounds. Like I said, this is a glitchless speedrun where we don't do any glitching at all. I swear. You know? But this is the other part where Italian saves 30 seconds, by the way, in this cutscene, you know? Anyways, that's enough fun. Let's see if I can do another non-glitch with these binoculars. Yep, I just threw them through the floor. But that's not a glitch, I swear. That was just the Bethesda game design. And they teleport back to where they were. Anyways, we're almost done with this cutscene. Can I just say, Italian Yes Man is the best character. You know? He just sounds so happy. So that was the last voice line we really need to listen to. And then we need to wait till the end of this one. Then we just leave by interacting through the trigger in third person, which is not a glitch, I'm telling you. Like I said, no glitches in this run. And you know, that you might be thinking, that's definitely a glitch, but that's, no, it's not. Now, there's still gonna be one more thing that you might think is a glitch, and honestly, well, it's at the end of the run, so I'll leave it as a surprise. But yeah, now we have to go and plug in Yes Man's chip into a computer at a power station. So this is where we fast travel to back to Black Mountain. Black Man has a lot of super mutants, but we skip them all by just fast traveling, you know? So that's fine. So we have to go to that power station and plug in a computer chip. We're basically just going to steal the NCR's power for Yes Man's robots. It's not, you know, maybe not morally good, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Here we pull up our fists again for Old Ben. Now, if I can punch Old Ben, that would be a double win, because no one in the speedrunning community likes him. Unfortunately, he was just too far to the side. Sometimes he spawns right in front of you and you get to punch him, which is probably one of the more satisfying things in the speedrun, if it happens. So we're actually approaching the final segment of the run. Act 3, as I think it's referred to in whatever you want to call it, the game plot. Where the Battle of Hoover Dam, we've been skipping a lot of the plot, but basically everyone wants the dam, but we're gonna swoop in and steal it. Because, yeah, we've got an army of robots, so what are they gonna do? So here we go. So remember how I mentioned there's a trick that kind of looks a lot like glitching, but isn't? It's coming up. It's also one of the toughest things to do in the speedrun. And only possible because we allowed stop hopping, so... yeah. It involves a lot of tricky stop hopping jumps. I can use this little sort of... oh shit, I am getting pummeled with... basically I'm getting bad RNG here, because these guys... sometimes they shoot at you, sometimes they don't. If they do, it's a waste of medicine, and you kind of need medicine to survive, so... but yeah, basically a lot of these surfaces are sloped, and stop hopping on sloped surfaces is not good. It sucks, but we managed it flawlessly, actually. So, yeah, remember how I said that wasn't the glitchy part, this is. That's what we call Besk skip. I swear that is legal. That is not a glitch. I know I just teleported like halfway across the dam, but it makes total sense. It's a trigger put there in case the player falls off the dam to teleport you back onto the dam. And I think I am out of stim packs, so if we get crippled here, or we get damaged too much, this is not looking good. Okay, we somehow made it. I have no medicine, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So this is our HP for the rest of the run. Thankfully, I will survive. Because these guys all have melee weapons, and our final boss is... we take him down with words. So this is not even close. I've finished runs closer than this, with like 1 bar of HP in the bottom left. So here's the main final villain, so to say, like Atlantis. And we're gonna use the power of speech to take him down. His ego just can't handle it, so he runs away. See ya. Also, talking to him from here is just faster. And there's technically a second final boss, but he's an even bigger wimp than Legate, the Legate. He's the NCR General. Instead of requiring multiple speech checks, he takes one and just runs away. Or he just walks away, you know? Doesn't even have the dignity to run. But the time is coming up. It's gonna come up once I finish talking to this guy, and then Yes Man talks to me. So I'll count it down once it happens, but we're still like 20-30 seconds away. But that is New Vegas Glitchless. I hope you all enjoyed, you know? And yeah, speedrun community for this game is actually really nice, so if you do want to try it, go for it. So we're ending in like 5 seconds, or just now. So that's time. Thank you all for watching.
Very, very nice. Very smooth talking as well. I love the complete lack of glitches.
Yep, not a single one.
Exactly. We do have one final donation before we finish. Duchess has donated $10 saying, why is the game in Spanish?
It's Italian, but Spanish is a common misconception.
There you go. And yeah, even more speedrun questions answered. So very, very good job. Thank you very much. So you guys know, this is the end of my donation reading shift. I'll be handing it over to the ever-talented Tainted Tally, who will be taking over for our next 2 runs, which are going to be the Serious Sam 4 All Levels category and Halo 3 ODST Easy category, by Tezero and Zero HR respectively. Yeah, thank you very much for the run. Absolutely amazing. Have you got any last comments or shoutouts? Oh, by the way, your time was 26:48.
Okay, not too bad.
So yeah, any final comments, shoutouts before we go to intermission?
Shout out to the entire community. Lots of cool stuff. We have tournaments to do with Fallout categories. It's just a nice place to be. So that's all I got. But yeah, thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. And yeah, rest of you guys, take a break, grab a drink, stretch your legs, whatever you like. We'll be back in a few minutes with some Serious Sam 4. See you later.